about the Gultra fire started in Clear Creek Canyon on a ridge. 9 News reporter Courtney Yoon joins us live from the ground. Courtney, what have you learned? What are you seeing right behind you?
Yeah, Jordan and Corey, I'm going to step out of the right away for you so you can see the flames of this fire. It's rare that we get a vantage point like this of a wildfire. We've been watching this fire grow over the last hour and creep down the mountain here. We're here at the road closure on Highway 6. It's shut down between Colorado Highway 119 and 93. The Jefferson County Sheriff's Office says the fire continued to grow significantly overnight as it was being monitored by fire and law enforcement. They say evening down canyon winds caused some erratic fire behavior, which is what forced this closure of Highway 6 in both directions. Additional resources have already been ordered this morning. They had initially estimated this fire to be around 10 acres last night, but that may have changed now. The fire is burning north of Highway 6 near Tunnel 1. That's in Clear Creek Canyon, north of Lookout Mountain, just west of Golden. The Sheriff's Office and Golden Fire Department believe the fire was caused by a lightning strike. No structures are threatened right now. Wes Felto was biking yesterday evening when he saw the smoke.
Goodness, it's not windy. Honestly, you will get fires. It's the Mountain West. It happens. I just like to think that, thankfully we caught it on a non-windy day and they can get it under control.
When we talked to Wes yesterday, the winds weren't so bad, but right now it's pretty gusty out here. We're also expecting to have an update from the Jefferson County Sheriff's Office later on this morning. We'll definitely bring you that update on air and online. But right now, I want to head over to my friend 9 News traffic anchor Erica Lopez with the road closures over here. Are we seeing any impacts, Erica?
Yeah, of course, it's a massive headache, Courtney, anytime we're dealing with a main highway or interstate closure. So like you heard Courtney talking about, Highway 6 shut down through Clear Creek Canyon. We're going to look a little bit more in depth at those closures in a moment, but I do want to start you out here with a live look at our drive out here. This is eastbound 270, delays at York Street as folks get ready to travel into Commerce City. And then this is a look at 225 and Parker Road, where we're getting a little bit busier southbound and northbound lanes headed toward us, where we're seeing a bit more headlights at this hour. So as we take you over to our map right now, I do want to show you that closure that Courtney was talking about because of the Gultra fire. Highway 6 through Clear Creek Canyon between Highway 40 and Highway 93 in Golden. So a massive closure. Highway 6 is closed in both directions. I-70 is going to be an option for a workaround while we're dealing with that closure. But of course, definitely a headache. We were also dealing with a crash on 6th Avenue. It looks like that just dropped off the map, so we no longer need to worry about that. Travel for you elsewhere across the metro, not looking too bad out here. I-25 drive 10 minutes between 144th Avenue and 76. So you've got the green light there. And your westbound I-70 travel still in good shape between E470 and 76. However, we have a new northbound 225 crash just after 6th, just a little bit before I-70 that is beginning to slow things down. We want to send things over to our weather impact team meteorologist now, Chris Bianchi.
Hey, thanks so much, Erica. And overall good news in terms of the firefighting efforts, in terms of the weather side of things. Wind is not an issue. You just heard it about 2-3 minutes ago. And we've actually got some rain approaching. I'm not sure how much of this holds together. This is weakening pretty quickly, but in the foothills, we can certainly expect an increase in relative humidity, so that firefighting weather probably only going to get a little bit better as we head over the next little while. Aspen, over a quarter-inch of rain from this band of rain has moved through early this morning, and still seeing some rain showers for us out across parts of the mountains. Later today, 2 to 8 p.m. storms for us here in the Denver area, with the potential for some gusty winds. That'll be the main impact, along with lightning and burn scar flooding in the metro area. Eastern Plains, we could have some nasty storms out here. Temperatures, we've got some 50s and 60s for us right now in the Eastern Plains. Today, we top out at 94 for us here in Denver. Highs, by the way, average for today in Denver, 87, records 99. We're going to be well above that average high once again for us here in Denver. It is our second hottest start to a summer on record for us in Denver. That trend only continues for today. Isolated storms today and tomorrow, burn scar flood threat, but this weekend turning drier with a little bit of a wrinkle in there. I'll explain that coming up in my full forecast in a couple minutes.
Chris, thank you. We have some new information this morning in a shooting involving Thornton police. Last night, officers found a man wanted on a warrant on East 120th near Grant Street in North Glen. Officers told him that he was under arrest, but police say he tried to walk away. Officers tased him. The man pulled a gun and officers opened fire. That man is in the hospital with serious injuries, but there's a lot we don't know, including what the warrant was for. No officers were hurt.
Also developing this morning, 2 people are hurt after being hit by a car that ran into a bus stop. Police say that a man and a woman were hit on South Federal Boulevard near Yale last night. They were hospitalized, and we know at least one of them has serious injuries. We're going to bring you more information on air and online as soon as it comes into our newsroom. 6:05 now, and the Obamas return to their hometown for night 2 of the Democratic National Convention.
The pair made jabs at Donald Trump while encouraging Democrats to embrace Kamala Harris as their candidate. 9 News anchor Kyle Clark is covering the convention from Chicago and has more.
The Democratic Party's 2 most gifted speakers these days spoke back-to-back Tuesday, former First Lady Michelle Obama and former President Barack Obama. Michelle Obama talking openly about the hopelessness that some Democrats felt during the Donald Trump era, and her husband, who rose from Chicago politics to ride hope into the White House, he provided what is likely to be the Democrats' game plan to prevent a second Trump presidency by framing Trump as a sort of incumbent. Tonight, Barack Obama's familiar "Yes, we can" was transformed into "Yes, she can," riffing off boos about Trump with his trademark "Don't boo, vote." The crowd of Democrats here loved him playing the hits, but they're going to need to translate that into a plan of action to win a race that they say that they are losing, even as polling has narrowed, with Kamala Harris replacing Joe Biden atop the ticket. Now, for decades, Americans have told pollsters that they believe the country is moving in the wrong direction. This holds through presidents, Democrat and Republican, and it makes change a powerful but not unbeatable force in politics, and it makes incumbency often dangerous. So listen to how Obama essentially painted Trump as the incumbent and the sitting VP Kamala Harris as the change agent.
We do not need 4 more years of bluster and bumbling and chaos. We have seen that movie before, and we all know that the sequel is usually worse. America's ready for a new chapter. America's ready for a better story. We are ready for a President Kamala Harris.
Michelle Obama warned the Democrats here to avoid a Goldilocks scenario where everything must be just right about their candidate in order for them to work hard for his or her election, a call for progressives and centrists to unite. Kamala Harris is currently backtracking from some, but not all, of the progressive policy positions that powered her run for president 4 years ago. 2 progressive delegates from Colorado told me that they believe that progressive policies might have an opportunity to appeal to some of the disaffected voters who backed Donald Trump. They specifically talked about the housing crisis and the high cost of living in Colorado and across the country as openings for Democrats to connect with unaffiliated and independent voters looking for new approaches to that issue at the federal level.
And there are a lot of people who feel that neither party really represents them. And so, of course, Trump had an opening speaking to people who were disaffected about a broken system. And the way that we fight back as Democrats is acknowledging that the system is broken and acknowledging that corporate greed is the reason why you can't afford to own a home, and acknowledging that we need to change policies so that you can afford to own a home. And we're hearing that here in Chicago, and I think it's a winning message.
What I'm hearing here is about the human being and the human condition. And what Donald Trump is discussing and what he's preaching is completely the opposite of that. And it's given us an opportunity to step in and to say, look, you can have hatred, you can have bigotry, you can have, tax cuts for billionaires that are going to be on your backs, or you could take a look at the Democratic Party where we're doing things at the human level. And so it does open up the door.
Both State Rep Javier Mabry and former State Rep Joe Salazar say they see the addition of Tim Walz to the ticket as a sign that Harris is going to proudly defend progressive principles. Harris's top policy proposals still remain a bit of a work in progress weeks into her campaign, so it's yet to be seen whether she's really going to lean into those progressive policies that will also enhance Donald Trump's attacks upon her as a San Francisco liberal, or if she'll track closer to Joe Biden's longtime approach of trying to unite the 2 wings of his party. In Chicago, Kyle Clark, 9 News.
Kyle is bringing us coverage from the DNC all week long. You can see him live tonight in Chicago after night 3 on 9 News at 10 o'clock.
Former President Donald Trump says he would be open to independent candidate Robert F. Kennedy Jr. playing a role in his administration if RFK drops out of the race. That comment came after Kennedy's running mate, Nicole Shanahan, went on a podcast Tuesday and said the campaign was considering dropping out of the race and endorsing Trump. Shanahan said that the decision would be to reduce the risk of Vice President Kamala Harris beating Trump in November.
I like him a lot. I respect him a lot. I probably would if something like that would happen. He's a very different kind of a guy, very smart guy. And yeah, I would be honored by that endorsement.
Trump downplayed the possibility of Republican backlash from having Kennedy in his potential administration due to his previous progressive positions.
Well, one thing to know about the weather today, all right, we'll cheat. We'll make it two things. One, it's going to be hot, mid-90s for us in Denver today. Two, we do have some afternoon showers and storms around for us this afternoon. Higher chance for storms today compared to yesterday. Gusty winds, as well as brief downpours and lightning. Those will be the main impacts. Also, the potential for some burn scar flooding. Obviously, don't want to be near the burn scars today. And then the eastern plains could have some pretty nasty storms out there. I'm going to detail this for you in just a couple of minutes and also take a look at what we can expect for tomorrow, which could be even more active than today. That's coming up in just a couple of minutes.